Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is a weird video. We're taking a look at some drivers. We're actually taking a look at Nvidia's GeForce experience because today they just released a feature that I've been anticipating for a while. I actually called this as a feature that I expected to see about a month ago when I first started looking at the Nvidia Shield, and I mentioned it on the Facebook page, and it is this: ShadowPlay. And I'm going to talk you through what this does and how it works. It's kind of a big deal. If you have a 6 series or a 7 series video card, this is actually a huge deal. What I found with the Nvidia Shield is that built into Nvidia's drivers and into the GeForce Experience software here, well, on the hardware itself, there is an H.264 video encoder which is capable of encoding video on the fly with very little performance hit to your machine. So anybody that's used Fraps or Open Broadcaster or XSplit to stream or record knows that when you record or stream, you get a fairly significant frame rate drop and performance hit when you do that. Having that stuff handled on a dedicated card like a 6 series or a 7 series GeForce card means that work is not being done by your CPU, so the hit to your game performance, if you have a dedicated device doing that video capture and video encoding, is minimal. It's really, really good. It's like having a dedicated video capture device focusing on just that. And that's really where ShadowPlay comes in. ShadowPlay is currently in beta. The release that came out today on October 28th is a beta. When they go to version 1 eventually, it's going to include streaming. Right now it is just recording. So right now, this is an alternative to running Fraps, for example. And it's pretty cool. What you do, the way you get this working, click on ShadowPlay. It pops up this little box here, and by default this is actually turned off like that, so you flick the switch and turn it on. Now there are 4 buttons here which let you mess with how you're going to record stuff, and also a preferences button. You need to go to preferences first. You need to make sure your output device is where you wish to record video, so mine's on a second drive. And you can also put in here a little recording indicator. When you're recording, you'll see this indicator at the top of the screen. It fills in bright green when you're recording, and you can set up a hotkey down here. I've got Alt F9 for toggling recording on or off, which is kind of the Nvidia GeForce Experience version of the Fraps hotkey for recording. Now, the Nvidia GeForce drivers are recording your gameplay all the time if ShadowPlay is turned on, as I've just turned it on. So if that's turned on, it's recording all the time, and if you have a classic game moment and you really want to suddenly dump that out to disk and upload it, or a flight sim moment, you just rock the most awesome crosswind land in FSX, what you can do is just hit that other hotkey, Alt F10 in this case, and it will dump the last 10 minutes of your game, or 5 minutes, or however much you set up using this button, out to your disk. Let me walk you through these buttons. So mode here, we've got shadow and manual. What that means is the drivers are going to shadow me, so whenever I'm actually playing, they are kind of recording but just not storing it somewhere permanently. And manual, so I have the ability to hit that hotkey and turn on manual recording. If I want to, I can hit the other hotkey and just dump out the last few minutes, which is great. You can just go to shadow, where you don't have the option of setting up a manual record. I don't see the point of that. Shadow and manual is probably the best thing, or manual only. Shadow time, you're setting here just how much footage you want your video card to automatically record when you're playing something. I've got that maxed out at 10 minutes. I'm not sure why the limit is 10 minutes. No idea why, in fact, but 10 minutes it is. That doesn't affect manual recording. If you're doing manual recording, I think you can record as long as you want until you hit stop. Quality is a fairly obvious one, low, medium, and high. And then audio, you're just specifying, are you recording in-game audio or not? There's no multi-channel audio inputs on this. It's in-game audio only or not. Okay? Now, a couple of other gotchas with this. ShadowPlay will only record full-screen DirectX games. So if you're running an OpenGL flight sim, like X-Plane, for example, you can't use ShadowPlay with that. You can use it with FSX, but FSX needs to be full-screen. DCS obviously has no problem at all. Rise of Flight has no problem at all, as long, again, as those are full screen when you're trying to record them. So that's ShadowPlay. There's another video actually going up over on the Frugal Pete channel, so youtube.com/frugalpete, looking at my first impressions of Nvidia's Shield, which is using the other side of this that they've not exposed to us yet, which is the streaming side. Your video card can stream live out to Twitch later on. Right now it can stream out to an Nvidia Shield device if you have one. You might want to go and check that out just for a glimpse into the future. As always, my name is Frugal. Thanks for watching.